It's $1,500, it looks like a phone from 15 years ago, and it has a screen that folds. The new Motorola Razr is simultaneously very familiar and unlike any phone you've ever seen before, and you shouldn't buy one. The new Razr is available now through Verizon, Walmart, and Motorola's online store. At Verizon, you can pay it off in monthly installments, which breaks out to about $62 per month over 24 months, which is a lot. The new Razr has a 6.2 HD Plus OLED screen made of plastic, and it bends when you open the phone. On the outside, it has another 2.7-inch display called the Quick View screen for notifications and checking the time. The plastic screen is not anywhere near as smooth and consistent as glass. There are horizontal creases cutting across the regions that bend, and you notice them when the display is outstretched. The phone won't lie completely flat, and there's a bit of an iridescent oil slick effect to the screen's top film, which almost looks like what you get from some cheap screen protectors, which is pretty bad on a $1,500 phone. The hinge does make noise when you open and close the phone, though I can honestly live with it. You'll probably only notice it in silence. However, the screen lifts itself off the phone pretty high when you open and close it, which is kind of concerning. We also don't know how the screen and hinge will age over time. In the week that we've had the Razr, it's been fine, but we can't speak to the phone's long-term durability. The Razr has a 16 megapixel single lens camera on the outside and a 5 megapixel one on the inside, and neither of them are all that great. The 16 megapixel camera takes images that often have a weird red or cool tint to them, and Motorola's night vision mode doesn't improve low light scenes nearly as well as the night modes on the latest iPhones or Pixel devices. Also, that front-facing camera is bad. Really bad. Thankfully, you can take selfies with the regular camera by using the Quick View display to see yourself, which is one of the Razr's few clever features. The new Razr makes do with only a Snapdragon 710 chipset, which is far less powerful than the 855s and 865s in most premium phones that cost this much. The Razr isn't as fast, and you might be cheated spending so much money on a device like this only to get the kind of performance you'd expect from a $400 phone. The bigger issue is the Razr's dismal battery life. Moto's foldable lasted an average of only 6 hours and 8 minutes on our battery test, where phones have to load websites over and over again on LTE until they ran out of juice. That poor performance is the result of a really small battery. The Razr has only a 2,510 mAh battery, which is very tiny when high-end phones these days are packing batteries that are 3,500 milliamps or larger. Both Samsung's Galaxy S10 phones and the latest iPhone 11 devices last between 11 and 12 hours in the same test, meaning the battery life here is about half as good as what you can expect from other options. Motorola's rebooted Razr is one of the most interesting phones to come along in quite some time. It's a bold gamble from a company that once upon a time took risks like this all the time, but hasn't in the better part of a decade. And that's exciting to see, even with all the faults. But oh, the faults. Between the Razr's mid-range processor, awful battery life, disappointing camera, and low-res display, Motorola made many difficult cost-cutting decisions to ensure that the Razr could be available at a price that some people could potentially afford, at least more people than the Galaxy Fold. I'll commend Motorola for its effort, but the end result here is a neat phone with a futuristic party trick that just so happens to be full of compromises. And for $1,500, the risk just isn't worth it. For Tom's Guide, I'm Adam Ismail.